Hello and welcome back to the series where we try to conquer Pendor in 250 days. Now, I made my way, I literally rushed. I rushed over to Avendor to try to get into the battle with the three seers. Because obviously, basically what happened is, I thought to myself, okay, these guys, they're going to... And by these guys, I'm talking about the three seers, of course. They're going to go in to Avendor and they're going to weaken the garrison. So I thought, okay, I should probably go over there and see if maybe I can prey upon the weakened garrison. And maybe that could create our faction. That was my initial thought. And that's usually how things go, you know, in Warband. You generally want to try to find a weakened garrison, and then you can take advantage of it, and that's the cheap and easy way of creating your own faction. Super, super simple, you know, nothing too dramatic, right? However, in this case, the Salian kingdom decided that they would be extremely active, very, very active in their defense of Avendor, and as a result, it has now basically made it impossible for the three seers to basically do anything. As the Kingdom of Salian has now brought over 1,500 units. As you can see, these enemies are extremely powerful as well, by the way. These guys literally have, like, I don't even know, 600 weapon proficiency or some crazy number like that. They're very, very strong. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get any kills here. I've kind of resigned myself to the fact that I'm not going to get any kills, just because the very few enemies that I could potentially get into, well, as you can quite clearly tell, anytime I try to get a kill, it's just not going to work. No, it's just not going to work. It's just absolutely terrible. But yeah, anyone that I could potentially attack, they've got way too much armor, I don't have enough power strike, you know, generally those kinds of things. And or they're just too good. They've just got too much proficiency for me to be able to do anything against them. Alright, so there it is. The victory obviously was bound to happen. They had so many Doom Guides, I was actually kind of worried that I would be killed myself, but thankfully I lived just about. As you can see, I didn't get any kills. Julia did actually get a kill, surprisingly enough, and I think she actually leveled up too. Anyway, there you go. Lord Eric is here, and, well, we're going to be... Ooh, hello there. Oh, yes. Heretic writings. Well, that's not actually going to be that useful for us, but this armor is going to be useful. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, so we could take some... Maiden Cavalry, I suppose. I'm not entirely sure if I should really take any of these, to be honest, but I guess it's okay. And we can now move on. Alright, so we're now at a village that is infested by a couple of bandits. Now, I have made my way over to Ravenstone territory. I know that seems like a super, super weird decision to make, but I basically went into the arena and I asked where nearby tournaments were. And there is currently one going on where we are right now, and I think it could be an extremely good source of some cash, and indeed maybe some renown as well. Obviously, we're not really going to be super, you know, hardcore spamming tournaments or anything like that, but it is a very nice way of not letting the timer run, and we are going to need as much help as we can get on that front, because you know, this is the funny thing. By this time, in Native, we had already created our own faction. Just bear that in mind. We'd already created our own faction. We, I think, had taken quite a few fiefs already, actually. And, well, in Pendor, we're not even close to that. We're not even close to that. So, yeah, we might be in a little bit of trouble in that regard. Maybe. It depends, because there are a lot of varying ways we can actually make something happen, but it's a troublesome tightrope. Ooh, there's level 17 for us as well. Now, yeah, hilariously enough, you remember how I said that there was going to be a tournament going on in Ravenstern? Yeah, after I rid that particular village of the bandit infestation, I went back to Ravenstern, and the tournament was over. Yeah. Isn't that a classic? Yeah, certainly is. Anyway, we're going to level up. So let's see what we can do. Oh, yeah, this is great. Okay, this gives me an additional point in leadership. Leadership is actually extremely, extremely powerful in Pendor, in my opinion, because it actually provides you with 10 increase to the amount of troops you have. Obviously, the greater benefit is reducing troop wages, but as we are right now, we have a very limited amount of renown. So being able to increase your troop limit by 10 immediately upon putting a point in this, very, very strong. Ah, we've returned to the desert. Yes, it's time for Lawrence of Arabia to say hello to us here. And also, we have a bunch of much-needed space in our army. And we also have 3 Omen Seekers, by the way. Yeah, I didn't actually update you on some of the interactions that we've had in some of the taverns, because, well, let's face it, we don't really get very lucky in those, in those regards. So basically, what I did was I was speaking to pretty much everyone I could get my hands on, right? So obviously we've already come down into Dashar territory. So almost every single town along the way, I have spoken to every NPC that I could, which was, travelers, ransom brokers, and so on and so forth. And anytime I could, I was just seeing whether they had the Red Brotherhood map. Obviously, they didn't, otherwise I would have shown you that. But they did have a number of troops, mostly Omen Seekers. We just had 1 group of those, so 3 of those we have now in our army, which is actually pretty nice. And apart from that, we did get offered a band of Melatine warriors. Now, I'm not a big fan. I think the Melatine are actually really good, don't get me wrong. But I'm not a big fan of potentially missing out on really good Noldor. Because Lethal Durin is going to be coming back, I think, somewhat soonish. And I don't really want to miss out on something amazing. So I am a little bit dubious about taking anyone until he actually returns, because once he's returned, then I'll have a bit more of an idea as to how much space I have left over, and that's pretty much going to have to be how we roll here, as it were, because if we don't, then we could potentially miss out on some incredible units. I don't know what he's going to come back with. I'm not sure if it's random, actually, because it's been, as I say, it's been a long time since I've actually played Pendor, a couple of years at least, and I don't specifically remember that particular detail, so it is going to be maybe kind of surprising, maybe it's going to be disappointing, I don't know, it could be disappointing and he could just literally bring us nothing, I don't know, I'm not entirely sure, but that's my thought process right now, and otherwise, as you can see, we have completely and utterly obliterated this particular enemy. So I made a brief stopover in this town here because I just wanted to sell for 3,600 dinars, and I'm actually going to go into the tavern as well. Now, let me see if nope. These guys I've already spoken to, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think I have. Yep, as you can see, they don't have any additional rumors just yet. So we're in another battle against a Dashar vassal here. This guy is very, very easy. He's got basically no troops whatsoever, but he does have some very high tier troops, as you can see by all of the Ghazi Reavers that we are now eliminating. Now bear in mind that because he has such good good quality troops, we are going to be getting a decent amount of renown for this. We're going to be getting, I think it's like 13 or something like that renown, which I have to admit, I think that's pretty nice for such a small amount of work. And now, a really cool thing is that Anson leveled up just now, so we are going to be able to get another point in surgery, another point in wound treatment, and I am overjoyed because, let's face it, we need him to be as powerful as possible, at least to get 30 intelligence. If he can get 30 intelligence, by the time, well, shall we say, maybe a little bit earlier than when we first start doing sieges. Highly unlikely that it's going to happen. We need another 9 levels. And while he does have a decent-ish... Well, actually, his crossbow is terrible. I do need to get him a better one. Unfortunately, getting him a better one does require a lot of strength, I think. So, probably going to be a bit difficult. All right, we're going to get 38 renown. Oh yes, 38 renown for this. 180 enemies we have to eliminate here. Now, bear in mind that that is basically double what we currently have in our army. I have about 90-something troops. So, this may very well be a little bit tricky for us, but the battle advantage, thanks to our tactics skill, is not that massive. It's literally just -1. So we shouldn't really need to worry about this too much. If I do get eliminated, that's obviously a bit of a problem, but, you know, most of the time, we should be okay with that. You know, because you can see here, these guys are just charging in. Bit of a weird decision, I gotta say. Bit of a weird decision. I would have 100% expected them to be super careful and kind of just waited, but I get... actually, you know what? Never mind. I actually think that they think they have this in the bag. I think that they believe they will be victorious. This is not going to happen, though, because as you could quite clearly tell, look at what we are doing right here. We are on the hill, absolutely raining down all kinds of death and destruction upon these enemies, and they have very, very little idea as to why that's happening. And I think that that generally is the reason why they are ending up losing. Oh yes, they will lose this 100%. I'm pretty sure, at least. Let's hope that we don't die as well. I would like to try to level up a little bit quicker as well, because this is the funny thing. It does kind of... This is the funny thing. Yeah, it actually does hinge on me actually leveling at a decent-ish pace. Because if we fall behind and we don't have enough stats, or at the very least we don't get more Qualis gems, because I mean Qualis gems actually are one of the main things that we actually need to boost ourselves heavily ahead of the curve. You know, that's kind of what I had planned to do all along. Unfortunately, we've been very unlucky in that regard. I'm not sure why we are getting so unlucky with the rumors and everything, but I'm basically going to them every week or so. I'm actually not entirely sure when the rumors reset. I think it's like every 3 days or something like that, but I just wanted to make sure by leaving it about 5-6 days. And, well, I haven't been lucky yet, which really is making things rather tricky. Because if we did have the ability to get that additional Qualis gem, you know what we'd be able to do, right? You know, we'd get another 2 strength, another 2 agility, another 2 charisma, and we'd also get a whole bunch of weapon proficiencies as well, plus 30 weapon proficiencies. Now, if we could get all of that, and then potentially get a unique spawn, obviously unique spawns, very random, you know. Once again, that's another one of those cases where you just have to get lucky in, first of all, finding them, because finding them is a bit of an annoyance to begin with, but then you also have to get into a battle with them and actually have the ability to win. Yes, winning is obviously the biggest problem that we're going to face, but, well, I guess we'll see. Anyway, this is definitely going to be a victory for us here. I don't want to get killed over here, actually. I would like to... I mean, I did already level up, which is pretty nice, so kind of happy about that, but I would like to stay alive for the remainder of the battle, if at all possible. And there's the victory. I barely managed to survive, and I did get 15 kills. I'm actually very surprised. Anyway, let's go and level ourselves up first of all. Now, here's the reason why I'm kind of a little bit under pressure to find that map. I need the Qualis gem, right? I need the Qualis gem really, really badly here, because here's the thing. If I can do that, and then find a unique spawn, we'll have 14 strength, right? We'll have 14 strength, so then I can get to 15 strength very, very easily. Then I'll also have 19 agility, you know, if our stats remain the same as they are right now. And then we'll also have, if we have another, you know, 4 points, let's just say, then we're going to have 22 charisma, which is absolutely fantastic, because then we'll be able to have 7 leadership, 7 in prisoner management, 7 in persuasion, and maybe even 7 in trade, because we're going to be boosting intelligence at that point, and that is just fundamentally so good. But as it stands, because I'm not entirely sure if we're even going to have the ability to find that map, I'm going to have to make plans just in case that doesn't happen. In other words, I'm going to have to go for more charisma right now, and I'm going to be speccing into prisoner management. Now, the reason why I'm doing that is to prevent lords and indeed unique spawns from escaping, or shall we say, prevent them as much as possible. Ah, now look at who we have here. We have Mr. Lethal Duran. He has finally come back, and yeah, we're going to be welcoming him back. And then we are going to be taking a look at what he has brought us. Yes, there we go. Okay, so we got 7 hunters, 3 warriors, and 3 rangers. Absolutely fantastic. That's really, really good, actually. And that means now that we have these guys joined us, we now know exactly how much space we have left. I have another 17 spaces, which is really, really good. That means I can start recruiting, we can start speaking to people, and we can have a great old time. Now, I did just come here to sort of restore myself and just wait for a little bit of time. And unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be anything here. Let's go and actually see if there's a tournament. Yeah, there's one at Sarlian. Okay, let's see if I can... okay, I don't think I'm going to make it there in time, to be honest. I really don't think I'm going to make it there in time, but I might get lucky. I don't know. But I guess we'll try it out. Oh, hello. What's going on here? Do I want to fight this guy? I kind of do. Unfortunately. I don't really want to be honest, but I kind of do. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Yes, your shifty ruses and so on and so forth. Okay, yeah. Well, that's absolutely fine. Anyway, this is actually not going to be too bad. I mean, renown value is going to be 16. That's pretty decent. Not a big fan of the battlefield, I have to admit. This is a little bit too mountainous for my liking, but there is a decent-ish height advantage over in this direction. So we should be able to make something happen here. Potentially. Maybe. Okay, let's just get our infantry over here, put these guys like so, spread them out, and then we will prepare for the inevitable. And there it is, 16 renown for us, not too bad. I'm going to just let this guy go as we always do. We did get some better dark leather gloves, which is actually not too bad. And then we can just let our people upgrade themselves as we do. And then we can move on. Heretic worshippers, heretic minions. Okay, I'll take the heretic worshippers. I don't think the minions actually level up. Oh, they do level up into worshippers. Oh, okay, that's great. I'm thinking of the snake cult then, I assume. And as you can see, Julia and Lethal Duran, they both get along very, very nicely. As you can see, she says, he covered my back in our latest battle and saved me an injury or worse. It goes to show that prejudice is often misplaced. You'll never hear praise of the Noldor in the Empire. And indeed, they don't like them at all, do they? No. I am glad you approve and get along so well. And yes, indeed, there you go. So she likes him. Now, let's go over to Sarlian if I can, and hopefully make it... Okay, well, yeah, this is actually kind of bad. It's kind of bad. Mostly because we are having huge amounts of villagers. We have a lot of villagers in our party here, which is actually really, really terrible. The reason why that's terrible is because we then have pretty useless units in comparison to having a critical mass of crossbowmen. And having a critical mass of crossbowmen in this case, that's basically the entire reason why we're winning battles to begin with. Without them, we probably wouldn't be. We probably wouldn't be. It would probably be very, very difficult. Anyway. Oh dear. Let's see what happens then, I suppose. I guess the only thing I can kind of hope for is that our reinforcements are going to come in, and maybe they're going to be somewhat decent. And that's it. That's all I can really say. Because as you can see, these guys are literally just going to start shooting at us now. And they're going to be killing all the infantry, of course, because these guys have no shields. I mean, very clearly they have no shields. It's absolutely impossible for them to defend against this. And I guess what I could do is tell them to charge. I mean, what... I don't know. They're not going to really do much. That's the funny thing. They're not going to do much. I'd rather have my crossbowmen just murder them as best as possible without having them interfere in the line of sight. But maybe that's not the way to go. I don't know. Oh, this guy is insanely difficult. Okay, yeah, that was the Lord himself. Yeah, he had amazing, amazing proficiencies. Yeah, so we are going to have some issues here. Yeah, we're going to have some big, big problems. Yeah, as you can see, there's very, very few... You see, this is the funny thing. Very few ways that I personally will be able to defeat anyone in one-on-one combat. It's extremely difficult for me to do one-on-one combat, especially with my current weapon. My current weapon is 100% a cavalry-focused weapon. So... me, you know, being a footman or infantry or whatever, that really does not work very well with my current weapon. It just has way too much reach. It's just not good enough for defeating anyone that has a much greater proficiency than I do. I gotta say, I'm actually pretty happy about our current situation, though. Let me actually just see here. Can I actually tell them what to do? Yes. There we go. Alright, so let's just tell them to hold position once again. This is obviously going to be our main strategy. If we tell them to hold position, and then we charge them at individual moments, we might be pretty lucky here. I'm actually... there we go, there we go. I was kind of worried about when our reinforcements were going to come in. Unfortunately, the... Oh, no. The infantry. Oh, the infantry. They are so terrible, but at least they are acting as kind of like meat shields, I guess. I mean, it's not really something that I desperately desire, you know, above all else, but it is the way that we are probably going to have to deal with this. Let me actually just see if I can put the cavalry there as well. Don't really want my cavalry getting murdered too much. And is it just me, or are my crossbowmen a bit too spread out? I feel like they're a bit too spread out. Let's have them stand closer a little bit here. Yeah, Kavera leveled up. Yep. Fantastic, fantastic. She's really, really good, actually, against enemy cavalry. So... Whoa, whoa. She's getting a couple of kills. All right. Oh, she's actually up there. She's actually up there. Okay, she might actually get more kills than just that. Yeah, go for it, Ah, yeah, she did great, actually. She did very, very well. She technically would have gotten another kill there if she didn't get overwhelmed, but she was doing fantastically. Lethal Duran's getting a couple of kills now, as you might expect. He is the highest, as far as I'm aware, the highest level companion in the mod, so just bear that in mind. He is very strong. He has, like, I don't know, 600 weapon proficiency or whatever. You know, standard Noldor stuff. You know, standard Noldor stuff. And, yeah, I think we should be fine here. We've just got to wait. We've just got to wait it out, I think. Most of my people seem to have run out of bolts. Well, that's a little bit problematic, but I guess what we'll do is just stand here until the rest have as well. Well, it is about time for us to charge our crossbowmen in now. They seem to have used most of their ammunition, and, well, the enemy doesn't seem to have anything, you know, specifically super damaging anymore. And you can see here that my forces are very, very easily capable of eliminating them without too many issues. And as you can see, there you go. We're almost done. We've only got 19 additional enemies to eliminate, and then we'll be good. Now, one thing that I am now very much hoping is that I'll be able to recover all of my HP and then be able to go into the tournament. What do you bet? And I'm going to assume this is going to be a thing. What do you bet? I win the battle. Obviously, we're going to win the battle, right? At least I hope so from this point. But yeah. Anyway, point is, we're going to win. We're going to go over to Sarleon, and then I'm going to restore my HP, and by the time my HP is restored to a decent level, I'm talking about 80% or more, the tournament will be over. I'm gonna guess that that is going to be our fate. There's 39 renown for us, though. Gotta say, very, very nice amount of renown. 5 deaths we suffered, which is actually not bad, considering I wasn't even attempting to do this. I really didn't want to do this, but yeah, there you go. Anyway, that guy escaped, unfortunately. Yeah, that's to be expected, of course. Let's just see if anyone wants to take these things. Yes, it seems like Kavera wanted to take one of those things. That's pretty nice. And there we have it. Okay, let me actually just have a look here. No, we don't need any of that. I am going to be selling a bunch of that, though. Really, really necessary for us to sell that. Let's go over to Sarleon. Let's be a little bit careful. I did not expect to see any Dishar vassals in that area, as you could quite clearly tell. I really did not expect that. I was thinking to myself, what? Oh, why are they here? You know, that was just crazy. Anyway, let's just sell all of this. We're going to be getting quite a good amount. Look at that. Almost 4,000 in cash. Actually, yes, actually over 4,000. Very nice. Let's take some fruit and everything. There we go. Let's go into the tavern here just in case. Sift is here. Yeah, as you can see, I've already asked her. And yeah, we're going to have to wait. Yes. As I called, yes, the tournament is over. Yeah, the tournament is over. So let me see. Yeah, tournament is going to be held at Sinkar. Yeah, there you go. So that was my HP restoring time, and well, now we're done. Yeah, now we don't have anything. We don't have anything at all here, unfortunately. But we did get a couple of level ups for our Noldor, which is very, very nice. And now we have a bunch of Noldor warriors, and they are going to be leveling up into Noldor rangers, hopefully at some point in the near future. And otherwise, we're just going to be leveling up Adonia here. Going to get her another point in Power Strike. As I said before, most of my companions are just going to be big beasts, basically. Just big beasts, you know, just heavy infantry or heavy cavalry. And obviously, Donovan is going to be our trainer. I'm going to put points in tactics for him as well, just in case. Because I don't really feel like we really need him super badly to be some kind of, you know, combat specialist or anything like that. So him having an additional point or two in tactics skill is absolutely fine. Because if I go down, I want there to be at least a little bit of tactics, just because we may need to run away. And being able to, you know, safeguard a number of our people is probably going to be quite helpful. Or at least I think it's going to be quite helpful. Anyway, that is going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.